We will have much more on that a little later, but I want to talk about Tampa Bay here right now. So Tampa Bay backup Mike Glennon is on pace to get $14.5 million per year over 3 years, according to NFL Network. So if he gets that, how much is Aaron Rodgers worth? Well, he was asked that if Glennon with 18 starts might get 15 per year, should that lead to discussions about his own contract in an interview on ESPN Wisconsin's Will D. and Tausch? Take a listen.
The other crazy thing that I've seen in free agency, this talk that Mike Glennon, who I'm sure is a nice guy and has started 18 NFL games at quarterback, is going to be getting $15 million a year when he lands in free agency. Does that impact your contract at all when they start throwing around this kind of money? I know you've got a few years left on it, but does that lead to any sort of discussions about your own contract situation?
I think it has to. I think it has to. I don't think I need to expand on that.
Aaron responding to a Pro Football Talk story that was tweeted out saying that he's grossly underpaid in light of recent cap increases and that Aaron has finally made it clear he wants a new deal. Tweeting this, actually I said 4 words and was referring to comparing contracts between players that play the same position. Hashtag fake news. On that note, we welcome in our coach, Herm Edwards, who's busy entertaining us with Greeny and Ryan Clark. You guys had a fun show this morning. So you might have missed, I just want to warn you, Stephen A., extra hype today. Be prepared for this. He's out of control.
I'm glad you brought me up. He's sad. He's sad because Tony Romo's leaving Dallas.
Yeah,
I'm so sad. I'm so sad. I'm so sad.
We're going to be getting him a jersey soon.
Molly, may I take this over? Could y'all move out the way, please?
Sure.
I am officially upset with Aaron Rodgers. I'm upset with him. I'm appalled by his tweet. Because he felt the need to explain himself. Aaron Rodgers, that bad man that he is. You don't have to explain yourself. If some no-name named Mike Glennon, who never completed more than 60% of his passes up until this last season when he only threw 11 passes for crying out loud, is worth $15 million. As far as I'm concerned, Aaron Rodgers, you're worth 50. $50 million a year. If Mike Glennon is worth 15 million, he couldn't shine Aaron Rodgers' shoes. He couldn't wear the same damn deodorant as Aaron Rodgers. Are you kidding me? Aaron Rodgers owes no explanation. As far as I'm concerned, you talk about Tom Brady, to a lesser degree Drew Brees, and you want to throw in some of the all-time greats, and you can pick the litter of them. Aaron Rodgers is in the conversation. He's a bad man. He's one of the greatest ever. And as far as I'm concerned, Aaron Rodgers looked like he got at least 6-7 more years in him. If that's dude, who the hell is Mike Glennon? Are you kidding me? What are you apologizing for? Coach, take it away. I don't understand what the apology is. I don't understand it. Aaron Rodgers is a bad man. Well, $50 million if Mike Glennon's worth 15.
Well, he actually is going to make $51 million in the next 3 years. But you're saying
no,
$50 million
for 1 year.
I understand.
I said for 1 year. All right, go ahead.
Stephen A., and I think this is the world that all these guys live in now, in the fact that we saw what they paid Osweiler. What they pay him, $44 million. So I think if you're a quarterback, the market is bearing what it bears. And I think the sad thing for veteran guys like you just mentioned, Aaron Rodgers, who is one of the best quarterbacks in the National Football League, led the league last year in touchdowns with 40. He's 33 years old. He's got a 3-year deal left where he's going to actually collect $51 million off that deal. In today's world, if I'm a player, I think the way these things are structured now and the way the quarterback market just seems to keep growing as far as numbers, I'm going to convince my agent, look, if I'm a great player like Aaron Rodgers, I'm signing 2-year deals. Because I'm going to get a bite of the apple every 2 years. Because we know it's going up. So rather than sign a 4 or 5-year deal as a quarterback, sign 2-year deals. Bet on yourself. Then every 2 years you get to bite another apple and your contract continues to go up. That is why I marvel at Darrelle Revis. That's what he was able to do, playing corner in the league. He figured it out. Every 2 years, I'm going to sign a new deal. I'm going to be the highest paid corner in the league, or right up there with them. And so I think if you're Aaron Rodgers and one of these kind of quarterbacks anymore, rather than try to sign a 5-year deal long term, you know what's going to come along. There's going to be another guy that makes more than you. Hey, sign 2-year deals.
Well, you're better off with an opt-out clause. I mean, the problem with a 2-year deal, Coach, of course, as you know, is the guaranteed money goes down, and in a full contact sport, even with all the protections for the quarterback, you can cost yourself money in the event of a catastrophic injury.
And the agent doesn't get paid. And the agent doesn't make his money.
Okay, I mean, look, for that, you might as well just get franchised every year. It's just 1 year and go year to year.
It's okay with that.
My point is that this, right, actually, look what's happening with Kirk Cousins. He may wind up the highest paid guy in football doing that. But what's really happening here is there's an artificial restraint on the labor market, on what they can make, called the salary cap. Yes. All the salary cap are the owners getting together and say, we have to stop ourselves from being competitive and paying these guys what they're worth so we can steal some of their money and put it in our own pocket. That's all a salary cap is. Oh, it's for competitive balance. Nonsense. You can do that with luxury tax stuff. That's just a lie. That's not even misleading. The owners are getting together and lying to you. They just are taking the players' money. And what happens in that case with this artificial restraint on what the players can make, and when the position of quarterback becomes more important, is that the average quarterback or replacement level quarterback gets paid more, and the best quarterback maybe ever gets paid relative to the pool of players less. Of course you're right, Stephen A. If Glennon's worth 15, Rodgers worth 150. He's 10 times better. Well, I mean, that's hyperbolic, but at least 2 to 3 times better. 30, 45, maybe $60 million a year, but you can't give that to one player. So when you have a hard cap league and the increased importance of the quarterback position, guys like Mike Glennon make out. And guys like Aaron Rodgers get basically robbed from. That's what's happening. The money that Rodgers should be getting, the premium over Glennon, is going to the owners.
Here's the problem. Both you and Coach are making this far too complicated. It ain't that complicated. Here's the bottom line. You got 3 years left on your deal. A Mike Glennon coming along and getting that money essentially guarantees the justification for you to have your contract renegotiated with 3 years left. Now, we can take into account the cap constraints, and we understand that. Everybody gets that part. The point that I'm trying to make to you is you engage in a bit of hyperbole when you say something along the lines of Aaron Rodgers is worth $50 million. I'm saying to you, it ain't hyperbole. I'm dead serious. That doesn't mean you got it. That doesn't mean you give it to. Wait a minute. It doesn't mean you give it to him because of the cap constraints. But what it does do is completely justify and validate the agent going to the Green Bay Packers and saying, we know we got 3 years, but damn, excuse me, you got to take care of this dude because Aaron Rodgers is that elite. Go ahead, Coach.
Yeah, Stephen, you make a great point.
Go ahead, Coach.
And I will say this is what I've said all along with this cap. I think there should be a designated player that you can designate on your football team where his salary does not count against the cap. So let's say if it's Aaron Rodgers.
Like that.
Let's say if it's Aaron Rodgers.
That's an interesting idea.
Well,
I think is a very good one.
That helps you. That helps the league. That helps teams to really keep your star player and keep him happy in the fact that, you know what? If this other guy's getting paid this, I got player X who's designated my highest paid player. I can give him more bite of the apple, and it won't affect how I do business. And so I think if we would do that, now you got a solution to all this. That's just my humble opinion.
Right? The owners,
I totally agree with it.
Go for that.
Totally agree with you.
I agree too. By the way, kind of like the bird rights in the NBA, you can smash through the cap. It's a soft cap if the guy's already on your team and you have their bird rights.
It's harder these days, though.
But I don't think the owners will ever go for it, because here's the issue right now. And by the way, I love the fact that Rodgers actually said something. Better to give us something to talk about than just stay quiet on this issue, especially because he's 100% right. He should have never, I agree with you, Stephen A., walked it back. Here's the bottom line. If a salary cap means the owners are simply taking money from the players, whose money are they taking? They are not taking Glennon's money. Glennon's getting more than he actually is worth. The money they're taking is from Aaron Rodgers and players of that ilk. The owners are taking his money and putting it in their pockets with the hard cap, and that's what Rodgers is really complaining about.
Rodgers ain't thinking about that. He's thinking about the fact that those dudes that are not on his level are getting rewarded exponentially. But it's not really his fault. It's like for example, when you look at Mike Glennon, it's not Mike Glennon's fault. You know what's the fault of this? It's the fault of the Jay Cutlers of the world, the scrubs, the wannabes, the leaderless individuals.
We can't get into this today.
Come on. I'm factually correct. The fact is you got guys who don't deserve to get paid. Since they got paid, it ups the market for dudes who are unproven because guys who have proven to be less than subpar, less than average, end up getting paid anyway. That's the real problem.
Don't forget about Osweiler. 44 million.
Turned out
I
well.
understand that, but at least he's young, and we'll see what he has. We know what the hell Jay Cutler is. We know what the hell Jay Cutler is.
Elway was right. He said middle class of quarterbacks, and the quarterbacks and their agents are saying, nope,